what's going on? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Hope Shot Sunday Night Live. Man, I hope you guys had a good Sunday. I know I did because I got to meet Caesar and we got to eat sushi. So
I got to nap for like 3 hours.
And Kelly got to nap. I don't know which one's better. And Nate, where are you, Nate?
I am currently in San Juan, Puerto Rico.
He got lost.
Oh, awesome.
He got lost, like really, really lost.
I'm marooned actually in Puerto Rico.
That's awesome.
Before we kick it off, can we get a little clarity?
Yeah, you the clarity, bro.
I got it.
All right.
All right. Our clarity statement, the Hope Shot clarity statement. We here at the Hope Shot are a group of people in recovery spreading inspiration. We come from all different walks of life and pathways of recovery. Our verbiage may be different at times, but we all have one thing in common: recovery as a lifestyle. We support all pathways of recovery. It doesn't matter how you get from A to Z, just get there. Thank you for being a part of our family.
Thank you, Kelly and
Welcome.
Caesar. So, guys, if you're just jumping on, say what's up. Let us know you're here. Tonight's topic. Also, share this if you would. Please share. Let us know you shared. Hit it in the comments. So tonight's topic, me and Caesar were talking earlier about, the life, getting anxiety, and Nate put it into good words, put it into something that was actually perfect. So Nate, what were you saying? What was the topic?
Oh, I was just saying, adapting and overcoming, man. Because it's inevitable. Life is coming. Things are going to happen that are out of our control. And it is up to us how we're going to handle it. It's ultimately our choice if we decide to, turn into a hot mess or, use the tools that we've been provided to navigate through it with some semblance of dignity and grace,
And he put it perfectly, because exactly, like we have the week coming ahead. Life is busy when we get back and, when we get into recovery, we get things back. We're doing things. We're trying to be successful. We're businesses, family, all these things. Boom, boom, boom. And it gets a little overwhelming sometimes and anxiety rises up. So, I figured it was a good topic because I have a busy week ahead, and I wanted to talk about it. So, I'm going to let Nate share first. And since he's on vacation in Puerto Rico, which is super awesome, man. And thank you for being on here tonight. You didn't have to.
Yeah.
But it's super cool that you jumped on with us, man. And that's what's up. So Go ahead, Nate.
So, hey, everybody, I hope everybody's having a good weekend. And this topic came to mind for me because I was supposed to fly out of San Juan early tomorrow morning, but I go to check in for my flight and it says it's canceled. And, immediately I get that feeling, that feeling like when maybe the dope man wasn't going to make it on time, or I didn't have any money to get what I needed. It's so same like that churning, and like I'm just a mess. I'm anxious. I'm uneasy. I'm irritable, restless, and discontent, basically. And it's funny how different it is for me today, because when I would let those type of instances, whatever they may be, just me not getting what I want when I want it, or maybe losing something that I already have, when I was in fear of those things, and believe me, I was in perpetual fear of those things, and I didn't know what I was losing because I didn't have shit, but you know what I mean. Anyway, but that shit would completely consume me. I would be done. I would be really incapacitated, paralyzed. I had no idea what to do next, and my only solution was to shove something in my body so I could not feel or be oblivious to whatever predicament had arose. And what my program has provided me with, and my higher power, my source, are these tools and this network and this ability to tap into this power, so I can, like, which is not to say that I don't experience anxiety, or believe me, I experience lots of anxiety, but it's what I do once I feel it that's important, because I never knew that I had a choice on how I was going to react. I just reacted. I thought that was normal behavior. And one of the gifts that I've been giving, one of the gifts I've been given is the ability to pause, and utilize, first and foremost, my source. Secondly, then I just call all my people, and it's crazy, which is why it's so important. And I instill it with new guys that I'm working with is, man, start calling people, reach out, however uncomfortable and awkward it may be, because that once you get in these behaviors and it becomes second nature, I cannot emphasize the importance of this practice and this discipline, so yeah. So I got this news, and I'm not the most savvy technological cat, on the corner. So I reach out to some people that are, and they help me navigate it. And, I figure out, what I got to do. I book a new flight. I get another hotel near the airport, and I drove to the rental place and got, but, you could substitute anything with my situation. It's, because stuff happens that we have no control over, and it's going to continue to happen. And so what am I doing in the interim while, when everything is good? Because if I'm just, going about my days, no problemo, not really praying, maybe I'll help this guy today, maybe not. Like, if I'm not keeping up on my daily spiritual practices, then when these situations happen, I'm not going to be able to navigate them properly. And who's to say when the right situation gets in front of me, I might not be able to, withstand whatever temptation it might be, so for me, it is super important for me to practice basic disciplines on a daily basis, that way, when, situations arise that are out of my control, or that are, daunting or overwhelming, what have you, then I'm able to, get through it and not lose my shit, which I used to do every single time. And I can, this just learning. I hate life on life's terms. I hate that saying so much, but it's true. Which basically means that we can't predict what's going to happen next. The only thing that I have any sort of control over is my reaction to it, and the preparation that I take in between these moments that will afford me the grace to deal with tragedy, with, surprises, with, cancellations, with whatever life throws my way. And, yeah, it's been one of the most, how do I word it? Like saving graces of my recovery, because for once, external circumstances don't control how I am. An external instance isn't going to change Nathan today. You know what I mean? I will react. First of all, I will pause. I will chill. I will evaluate the situation. I will use these tools that I've been afforded, and which it's not like, which is not to say that these aren't like the holy grail. These are suggestions that are easily accessible to anyone that wants to have them. You know, these are very simple practices that we can do on a daily basis that prepares us for life, because life is coming, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, I choose on a daily basis to be vigilant with my recovery and my practices, so I can, like I said earlier, handle these situations with some dignity and grace, you know. And yeah, with that, I just want to thank everybody for having me tonight. It's been a day, you know. What I thought was going to happen didn't happen, but now I get to explore San Juan and surf some beaches over here and see what the city's all about. So I'm really excited for what tomorrow brings, and I'm grateful to be here with you guys tonight. So
Awesome, man. Thank you, Nate, for at least jumping on here, man. And you know, something you said, man, it's like not losing your shit, man. Well, I'm really good at losing my shit. I'm really I'm comfortable losing my shit. You know what I mean? Like it's more comfortable for me to lose my shit than it is to be like, okay, what is this feeling? And like trying to like, you know what I mean? Like it's so much easier just to like react. You know, it's harder to not react to these certain things that go on, and especially like even your situation, like, oh my god, what's gonna happen, holy shit, this trip sucks, you know. I mean, like turning, instead of you're taking it, now you're taking it and you're turning into, at least I get another day to explore San Juan, you know what I mean? Like there's a flip side to every little detail. And I love how like your perspective on it is changed that thing, you know.
Yeah, but just so everybody knows, that wasn't my I had to arrive to that perspective, you know, because I'm human. I'm not perfect. I'm not on some fucking mountaintop meditating here. I reacted poorly at first. I was filled with anxiety and worry and what's going to happen. And I just had to move some pieces. I called my brother, had him pick up, you know, so my business end is taken care of. You know, I got online, I figured some stuff out with the help of some friends. And yeah, but at first, you know, but the difference today is that we have a solution, you know, that is available to anyone who wants it. And it's amazing how manageable it makes life. You know, something I thought was completely, I had never conceived I could manage anything to do with life at all. And today I can, because of this solution I've been shown. It's not a buried treasure that I discovered. It's available to whoever wants to access it. You know, that's what a blessing.
Nate, can I just say really quickly, Justin, I'm sorry that
No,
Otis hears your voice right now in the room and he's tripping out. So I'm getting up and down to like control Otis because he hears you. My dog loves Nate. Every time he sees him, he takes him for a walk. And so when he hears his voice, he's like, oh, it's time to go.
That's so cool.
That's awesome. So Caesar, what's up? You're quiet.
What's up, buddy?
You're quiet.
You want to jump on?
I mean,
in case she's got to jump up.
Yeah, I'm going to have to jump up a lot. I just want to touch on it real quick, just because in a previous life, and I still have the tendency to do this when things start to blow up like that. I used to be a runner, man. Like I would run from state to state and place to place and situation to situation. Like, you know, we have those natural reactions, fight, flight, or run. I would run and I would back away from whatever situation and avoid it like the plague. And I can remember doing this from the time that I was like, 6 or 7 years old. Like I would, and you know, nobody really knew back then. I mean, maybe people did, but like my family wasn't that privy to anxiety and like its manifestations. And I've had it since I was a little kid, and I would get a stomach ache, or like I'd feel like I couldn't breathe, or I was dizzy from the time that I can remember. And I would, you know, and it would be because if I look back at it, it was because of some situation that I didn't want to face, like at school, like I didn't know how to do a math problem or like whatever. And I would stay home from school and I avoided it. And, you know, I think the older I've gotten and the more, you know, the longer in recovery, being able to recognize those things and knowing that we have choices in how we handle it. And today, like I do all different types of things. Like so I work in the field and I'm in recovery. So it can be like super, super overwhelming. Justin, Nate will talk to me on a daily basis. They know, like, I mean, meeting after meeting, and then going through the pandemic and homeschooling and doing all of it. Look at Justin's laughing at me like it's a lot.
She talks us off the ledge is what happens. At least for me, I'm like, Kelly, help. I don't know.
I mean, it's just come with experience though. Like I've told you guys, I had to step away when it came to working in the field and being in recovery. I had to step away from that for a little while because it came all consuming. Like I didn't know what to do next and how to separate recovery from my professional life. And I had to really reevaluate and take a step back and go deeper internally so that I would be ready to do that again when I came back into this 3 years ago, because it's just, I mean, it's a lot every day. I mean, a couple quick tips before I go wrangle my dogs. Like one of the things that I do a lot is when there's a million different things going on and I feel, because we're not going to get anxiety. I still get anxiety. Like Nate said, it's the way we handle it and the way we've learned to handle it. It still happens. Like it doesn't just magically go away in recovery. It's still going to happen. And that's still my first instinct to be like, oh shit. And like, run or avoid or whatever, but I have to handle it today. So I try to prioritize things like what's important now. Like there was an acronym I learned in one of my jobs, WIN. Like I try to stop myself and I'm like, do I really need to do this right now? Or is this going to be something that if I don't have done in 10 minutes or the next hour, that is going to really, affect me? So just take a minute. Like it doesn't have to be a huge list, and prioritize my tasks. Like what can I step away from and there's not going to be the huge consequences, and what do I have to get done really right now? That, and like on a more spiritual lens, like when things happen, like, and I did tell Nate today, I was like, what did you say that you hated, that maybe you're right where you're supposed to be, or one of those sayings? Because life on life's terms. Yes, that's what I said. I said it's life on life's terms. If you go back to program stuff and and other things, but I am amazed if I just take a couple minutes and slow down and back up. Like I'm not that far into this thing. I'm 7 years into this thing, and when I take a step back and look at all the blessings in my life, I can't help but go back to that gratitude. It is harder than hell sometimes, especially when you have a million things going on. But if you really pause, like those things that are the most annoying sayings are what really, they were drilled into us for a reason. We go back to them and they're hokey and whatever else. But if you really focus on them and take a step back, like I am right where I'm supposed to be. The experiences that I'm having, they're happening for a reason. And if I'm observant and take a step back, like, in Nate's situation, I take a step back and look, like you had a whole extra day in Puerto Rico. Like, what are you supposed to be seeing in that extra 24 hours? Maybe there's something that God wants you to see there, and it's not easy. It's not easy when you're, anxious about whatever's happening and you feel like, if you don't get where you're supposed to go, that you're going to fail somebody. Dustin said something like taking on every commitment. I forget where the comment went, but he was panicking because we want to be those superheroes. We want to be champion recovery and take on every commitment and every meeting and, treatment, but we can't do it all. And one of the very first ladies that I met in recovery, because I've always thought like this. I'm like, I can't go to a meeting. Look, my kid's at home. My mom's getting aggravated because she has to watch her. And she was like, how important do you think you are? The world is not going to crumble if you're not there. You need to take care of yourself. And no one had ever really put it that way. And I was offended. And I was also like enlightened at the same time. I'm like, wait a minute, you know what?
And now she tells me that crap.
Because it's true. When I don't make a meeting or when I don't have something, like I have something that I can't make it to or whatever else, I have to take a step back. Can I get someone to cover this meeting? Are they really gonna die without me? I'm not that important. Like it's gonna happen the way it's supposed to happen. It will be okay. Again, it's not easy to get there. It takes time and it takes practicing the pause. But I mean, that's what I have to do because I would be a freaking neurotic, insane person if I didn't. Like more neurotic and insane than I already am. So
practicing that pause is a whole nother. It's a whole nother.
It really is. But those 10, and even if it's in the morning, like I give myself an extra 10 or 15 minutes to sit down and, read my daily readings and really calm down and do the things that center me spiritually. Those 10 minutes help with the rest of my day. I notice like a lot when I don't step back and do that. It's just something that I have to put into practice before I start my day, because if I don't, then I get up and I go, like immediately I'm running, and like then it starts your whole day hectic. So pausing and really looking at where, what the whole day, the next 24 hours look like, and where you're at in life as opposed to where you were, or just whatever, your connection to your higher power, it helps.
Yeah. And it's finding the gratitude in anything. There was a meme a little while ago that says, appreciate the detour. You know what I mean? Like, and that's so true. Like, appreciating that detour that you got, because there's something involved with it that was supposed to happen. You know what I mean?
You're supposed to see, or you're supposed to be observing, and usually problems and things that they'll come back around until you figure out a way, until you've dealt with them, right? Like, so you're experiencing that for a reason. What are you supposed to learn from this? What can you internally take from this? That's what I try to focus on for myself. Like, what do you want from me, God? I'm here. I'm listening. Like, what do you want? What do you need? Like, what am I supposed to learn here?
I'm looking. There's nothing.
I hear you.
So let me give you my 2 cents on this.
Just 2?
He's got a lot more than that.
I got a lot of. I got like 350.
All right, well, real quick, if you guys would share this live feed, man, we appreciate the support. And back to you, Caesar.
So I'll say this. The life I have right now, I could not have handled in early recovery. 100%. I couldn't have handled the stress, the amount of responsibility. It would have crushed me. So I had nothing going on. I got out of a rehab and I had to look for things to fill my time. So I go back to Dustin's comment, and I got service commitments. I went to every damn meeting. My wife will vouch. I was either on foot or on a bike, and I was everywhere. I showed up to every commitment, did everything that I could, wore holes in my shoes in a matter of months, just booking it from spot to spot, because that's what I needed to do, because I had nothing else. And it afforded me the chance to build a solid foundation. I had nothing else to focus on. I was unhireable. I couldn't get a job. So I focused on recovery and a connection to my higher power. And I was afforded that time. I prayed for a job. I prayed for all these things to hurry up and come into my life. But God saw fit to slow me down. And I was able to build the foundation. And as the things come, I've been able to handle them. So when I got the menial job, crawling around in attics, that's the best I could have hoped for. I didn't have to use my brain too much. I crawled in the attic, I sucked the stuff out, and we left. And that, and then I went to my meeting, and I went to the gym, or I went to my commitment, and that's all I could handle. As time has gone on, my life is beyond full, but it's full with the very things that I prayed for. So when I get frustrated and overwhelmed by my blessings, I have to slow down and go, I'm legit complaining about the things that I prayed for a few years ago. And it brings me back to gratitude. Does it work instantly every time? No, because our lives are crazy. And I'll speak for everyone that's on this podcast. Our lives are insane. We have extremely full, busy schedules. But I can't let my perspective go to negative to all these things. I have to this and I have to do that. And it goes back to what you said earlier, Justin. I know, and it sounds hokey, and nobody wants to be told that, bro, you get to, like.
Oh, I hate that. Oh,
But
I
it's like muscle memory. The more you go back to hearing those things and leaning on those things, you'll start to quicker, go to that quicker.
Yeah, but when you're in that mindset of like, I have, and next thing you know, you get this guy coming in from the left field going, "You get to, bro," and I'm like, shut up. You're right.
Well,
damn it.
It's like Nate with life on life's terms, though. So I tried life on my terms. Life on my terms does not work out. I've got to be able to handle life on life's terms, meaning that whatever is thrown at me, I still need to represent my recovery, myself, and react the same sane, calm, and collective way, no matter what. Do I put expectations on all kinds of stuff? Yes. Am I disappointed? Yes. I do that to myself. I'm human. I expect people to act a certain way. I expect to be treated a certain way. And when those things don't happen, I set myself up to get resentments and I get all upset and end up wasting half a day all up inside my head when really I just need to accept the fact that everything that happens for a reason. It's none of my business why it happened. It's none of my business what people think of me. It's my business to be the best representation of recovery and to be a good human being on a daily basis. That is my primary purpose. To be of service to other people, to God's children, your source's children, whatever you want to call it. That's it. Everything else is gravy. Like I get to go to work and provide for my family. Just because I make money doesn't mean I get to act like an a-hole. I still have to stop and help the guy on the side of the road. I still have to take the phone calls at midnight from the people in recovery that need my help. I still have to show up and unlock the door at the recovery meeting and make sure that there's a meeting that day. Those are the most important things. They can't become afterthoughts for me because I built this life. I only have the life because of recovery. Like if you take recovery out of the equation, I'm homeless. And I don't have to worry about any of this stuff to show up to at all. My schedule opens up real quick. I'm available to do just about anything. So we get busy, we get all the blessings, and we have to stay plugged in with our people to stay right sized. Because I don't know about everybody else, but my ego tells me that I'm important and, I don't have to answer the phone because I'm too busy doing important things. And once I start getting into that, the gratitude's gone, the ego's back, and I'm acting like an ass. And I don't want to be that person. So, I've got the people on this screen, plus a lot of other people that I get to talk to throughout the day and have a chat with. And it brings me back to gratitude, and it brings me back to being right size. And it keeps me from trying to manage my life the way I see fit. And it keeps my higher power as the manager. I got to remember that I was fired as manager for poor performance. I suck at managing my life. I've not been hired back. And, I have to keep the reins over to my higher power. It's not hard. As far as my understanding of my higher power's will is that I don't lie, cheat, and steal, and I don't look the other way when there's an opportunity to be of service. I take the opportunities. And when I do those things, everything else is all right. When I choose to overlook them, or I choose to tell the lie and I start cutting corners, all of a sudden my life starts getting chaotic and I don't like the way I feel about myself and I can't sleep at night and I'm irritable, restless, discontent, and I start snapping on everybody, or I don't answer the phone at all and I completely shut down, and I don't talk to anybody. And then I'm miserable again. And I didn't get sober to be miserable. So if I want to be happy, joyous, and free, I got to let go of the reins and I got to listen to the people around me and I got to do what I believe my higher power wants me to do. And that's not bitch and complain about the gifts that he gave me that I prayed for.
Yeah, definitely. But I was just thinking that while you were talking too. It's like, I prayed for this life at once, I didn't have nothing. And now I have this life, man, it's full. And like, I beyond my wildest dreams, but then I'll complain about it in the same sentence. Not every day, but like there's sometimes when, especially when there's so much to do, like this week, man, like I have a lot going on this week. I got tomorrow. We have a meeting with one of our the state deal for the Faces and Voices of Recovery to talk about furthering what we're doing. I got estimates and jobs and this, that, and the other thing. And then, Tuesday we're doing a town hall. And then Wednesday we got the video. Thursday I'm taking my GED, by the way, update. I passed 2 of my tests for my GED. I got 2 more and I freaking passed my GED. But I'll sit here and complain about that shit too. Like, and then I'm like, I'll get in my head about it and get anxiety. And then like, I'll screw up everything in my life. When I get into that mindset, I'll screw up every little detail, like literally, instead of like going into it with a positive mind, going to this week with a positive, everything positive, being centered, talking to my people when I'm freaking like, just feel like giving up. Like literally, it's easier to give up, it's like, but sometimes, man, it seems like it's a better idea. I just want to throw in the damn towel. Because there's so much going on. And like, sometimes, man, I don't feel good enough that I'm going to be able to do a good job. Like I have to show up for things and do things that I like. Sometimes, man, I'll go back into that same mindset that I always have, that I'm not good enough and it ain't going to happen. Nothing's going to work out. Everything I'm doing in my life is for nothing. Because, and in that mindset, it will be nothing if I freaking sit here and think that way. But it's like, literally, I'm telling you, I think it all the time. I think it all the time, more times than not sometimes, and that's just a fact, man. That's my fucked up brain. My brain will hold me back from everything that I should have. You know what I mean? I am my own worst critic and I'm my own worst enemy. And I will hold myself back from everything that I probably deserve in life. You know what I mean? Or everything that I work for, doing the Hope Shot stuff, man. Sometimes I have no clue where it's going, sometimes I have no clue where it's going. And like, I get anxiety about it. That's why Kelly talks me off the ledge most of the time, because I have no clue. I'm not comfortable sometimes, it's new, it's foreign to me. But that's like everything else in my life. The GED, bro. I thought I was just dumb, like I don't even be able to pass none. Putting myself down, like, oh, dude, you're too old for this shit. You're not gonna be able to pass it. And every time I'm like, after taking a test, I was like, I don't think I did a good job. Man, I don't think I didn't pass. And next thing you know, dude, I get the damn test score. It's like, you passed. And I'm like, all that crap for nothing. You know what I mean? All that anxiety, all that worry for nothing. Like, and it's like, instead of going, like, I have to learn how to like cope with it, learn how to get through. And it's been better. Like, listen, I'm telling you, somebody put on here earlier, meditation, meditation has worked for me. It's been, I mean, I'm not sitting here saying I meditate every single day, like some people want me to, but, and probably like some people do, but like, I do it when I need to, like when I absolutely need to. And, I'm trying to get better at making it a daily habit. Because it's easier to jump on social media than it is to do this other stuff that's going to help you. You know what I mean? It's so much easier to boop, phone, bam, instead of reading something that's going to help you through your day. It's so much easier to look at some other people's shit, and look at what's going on. Oh, I wonder, it's a lot easier. But like, and I sit here, man, and my life is full. And like today, man, we're signing up my son for like a sport or something, he needs to do something. He's got all this damn energy and he's like, he's fighting the air every day. He's running around like freaking Flash Gordon, just poof, 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 and we're like, bro, we have to do something with him. We have to get him into something. We're going to try to get him to karate, but he didn't like how the freaking thing fit. And I was like, God dang it, man, this, you're getting pissed off because he doesn't like the way something feels, like the karate deal. And so we're like, you know what, let's put him in football. And then Tiffany and me were talking. We're sitting here talking. We're like, she's like, oh, Jalen has volleyball that day. How are we going to get him? I'm like, fuck. Like, my kids are a liability to me. Like, I have to, a Saturday, I have to get up and like go do the, and I'm like, bro, you're being selfish. And like, these are the thoughts that are going through my head as we're talking, right? I'm like, stop being selfish. Make it happen. You got to make it happen. You get to today, right? And I'm telling you, this is the exact conversations I have in this little thing of mine. And I'm fighting myself because like, I should be doing these things. I should be showing up for him. Like, because I was that kid that didn't have that showed up for. You know what I mean? I needed that probably in my life. And my life might have, who knows how it would have been. I don't know, man. But like, I need to do these things in order to show up for my kids. This is why, I live the life that I'm living. You know what I mean? To show up for them, and stop being this selfish prick that I've always been my whole life and make it all about me. Because I'm really good at making it all about me. And everybody on here knows that. My ego, man, I don't want to do things. I want to, it's my rest day. It's whatever it looks like. I got my weekends back. I used to do estimates on Saturdays, and I got my Saturday back to have more family time or do things for other people. And like, that's the most, like, for me, like, to help me, I have to practice these things. It doesn't come naturally. It doesn't come naturally. Like, oh, I'm going to show up for my kids. It doesn't come naturally to me because I'm selfish, like, by nature. So I have these little internal conversations with myself to get me to say, yes, I'm going to make that happen. We're going to get him in the flag football. So we signed him up for flag football. And now it's either we're going to tag team, because listen, volleyball, I'm a little bit more comfortable with, but football, I'm not a football guy. So that's another thing. I'm like, and that's another thing is like, I'm not a football guy. I'm going to go out on this field and all these macho football. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Who's got the ball? Whose ball is it anyways? You know what I mean? Like,
hey, we can all help each other. So Kelly wants to talk, but before I forget, I've got Emma in basketball. We've got Maya in violin
and cheer, but that.
So we have to divide and conquer. I don't know anything about basketball, but Uncle Nate knows about basketball. So Uncle Nate's going to help Emma with basketball. You don't know about football, but Uncle Caesar knows about football. But you do know about volleyball. You know what I mean? Like, we've got a village of.
I know.
We've got a tribe that we can all help each other. In your negative self-talk, don't think you're unique, man. Do you think, how many times are we like, oh, we got to take them to practice?
It's not easy, dude. So,
and they're all like, woo, let's go. I can't wait. They're sleeping with their ball. They're like, oh, love you, ball, Wilson.
Case in point, I'm in the middle of this and I'm talking. I don't know if you guys saw, but Maya came and got me sobbing like just now. She forgot to do a writing assignment this weekend. And I literally just used, all she could see was the big picture, right? She's like, oh my God, I forgot it. My teacher's going to be so mad. Like, all these things that I was talking about doing, that's what I did when I was a kid. Like, I would freak out, and kids do that, right? And I'm like, break it down. Like, another little recovery analogy. How do you eat an elephant? She's like, how? I'm like, one bite at a time. And she giggles and she stops crying. And now she's like, breaking it down into little parts. I'm like, it doesn't have to be perfect, like first of all, she's in 4th grade, your teacher doesn't expect it to be perfect, but we'll get what we can get done, and you'll go and it'll be all right. Like, it's just being able to teach our kids some of the things that we learn. Like, that's just the cherry on top, man. Like, I couldn't do that 5 years ago, and now I'm teaching her how to do it. And it's just like, I don't know. It was like divine timing that it happened right now.
Exactly. And it's crazy because, like, I catch myself doing stuff with my son. Same deal. Like, calm down, breathe, learn to breathe. And I'm like, oh,
who am I?
Who is this guy in this body of mine?
Justin, your little boy too. I just have to say, man, he's got some empathetic stuff in him. I saw him, like, I've observed him a couple times. He's a special kid. I can see, especially in like, I don't mean that in a whatever way that people use that word. I mean, like, legitimately, I can see his soul. He's got a soul that, like, is so clear. I don't know.
As long as he's guided on the right path, because that can, go down.
He's also got air karate.
Dude, listen, he is beating, I don't know what up, but he is beating some.
He's killing it,
bro. He's in some kind of freaking, I don't know what is it, Chuck
There's
Norris
ninjas
movie,
everywhere.
bro.
We just can't see him.
It's yeah, exactly. I'm like, get those shadow people.
Back to what you were talking about, the self-doubt. When I was going through my fears, like, my initial man reaction was, what fears? I ain't got no fears. mean, there was that one spider that one time, but you know, it's all based in fear. And sometimes it's as weird as it's fear of succeeding. I don't even want to try, because what if I do succeed? What's that going to look like? Do I even want that if I succeed? You know, but everything that I have the internal struggle with, I can chase it back to a fear if I'm willing to look at it. You know, with work, you know, Nate named the big ones. It's fear of other people's opinion of me, fear of losing something that I have, or fear of not getting something that I want. Those are the three big ones. And if I'm acting some type of way and I'm all freaked out about something, I can usually chase it back to one of those three. But I can definitely always chase it back to fear, because fear comes out in all the character defects. You know, like it spews out in freaking rushed anger and, you know, short-temperedness and me shutting down. And I work through things in my own way, but I always get back to, crap, I'm being a baby again. You know, like I'm having an internal argument in my head with somebody, and they don't know that I'm even arguing with them. And I'm wasting my entire day having a mock argument about something that might not even happen. Why? Because that's what we do.
Create Lifetime movies in our head, man. Like,
that's a good one.
We
They are
really
like,
do.
They're dramatic.
Hey, I'm going to read some of the comments real quick. We got Brett that says, before I had my first son, I was nervous about being a father. Someone told me to be the father I needed at that age, and that always worked out good for me. Exactly true. You know, I didn't know how it was going to be, because I had my son, and I'm like, bro, it's going to turn into, I just pictured my life, literally my life going from that little kid. You know what I mean? Like, I just picture it, and it's so like, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. Once he turns into me, you know what I mean? Like, and those are serious fears, like literally serious fears. Let's see. We got Helen says, you learned the sport. I didn't know anything about fast pitch softball, and ended up managing the team for years. I do not want to manage a volleyball team or a football team. I'll tell you right now. Let's see what we got. We got Stephanie says, I was a parent that said, I love you. Now go away. Now go away when I was drinking. Today I get to be present with her. Listen to her and learn from her. But don't get me wrong, I do tell her to go away sometimes. Sometimes, yes. But it was like always, it was like liabilities, man. It was like, you're getting in the way of my fun. Like, you're cutting into my life a little bit. And it's like, man, we're cutting into theirs. What do you mean? You know what I mean? Let's see what else we got. Let's see. We got Stephanie said again, I get to be better today than I was yesterday. There is no such thing as going backwards. Eliminate ego. Thank you, Caesar. Let's see what else we got. We got Dustin down here. It says Kelly and her husband shares both hit home so hard for me tonight. Dano says kickball is where it's at now. No, dodgeball is where it's at. They can't have dodgeballs. Like, I could get into something like that. Let's see. Melissa says, I have a child turning into me. It's so devastating. Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's like one of the biggest fears, is my kid turning into me. And, you know, all we can do is our best we can. Just like my parents did the best they could with me. You know, I probably turned in my dad. Who knows? You know? Anyways, you guys got anything else for tonight? Nate, you want to say a little something?
Yeah, sure. I was just thinking about, you know, some of the comments, you know, how we're like the ability, the gift that we have once our perspective changes, how we look at stuff, you know, and how powerful that practice is. You know, just, you know, not to be, you know, coy or glib or anything, but, you know, for the people that commented about their kids, you know, and stuff like that, to offer you a better perspective, you know, I would die to have the problems that any of y'all have with your kids, because I am not able to be with my daughter, and that's okay. You know what I mean? So, and it's a gift. Like, one of the gifts of recovery is the ability to see things from multiple angles and take self out of the equation. Because like Justin and Caesar shared, we're rooted in selfishness and self-centeredness, and then not only that, we're driven by fear. I spent my entire life in fear, and even today, a lot of my fears, either my fears stem from self-worth issues, or self-worth stems from fear issues, one of the two. But like thinking I'm not worthy enough to experience recovery, happiness, fatherhood, to experience a monogamous relationship with unconditional love, to experience this vacation, and then something goes wrong on my vacation, and I'll start questioning, should I really have came? And, like maybe, just, and I love how Kelly put it, man, because, and it's such a cliche, I get it, but we truly are exactly where we're supposed to be at this moment. And the more I can stay in that mindset, because I've shared this on here a while back, but I spent my entire life either consumed by the past, what I did, what I had done, who I had hurt, or I was consumed with what was going to happen next, and my every moment was robbed. It was like completely false. I was living in like this perpetual fantasy, for anybody who wants to really delve deep and more into that subject, I truly recommend reading Eckhart Tolle's Power of Now. But anyway, yeah. So once I was able, and I'm not saying that I'm perfect at this, but just to, this is how this whole conversation started before we came on tonight, to ground myself, to ground myself and really look at my life for a moment. And how can I not be grateful? I had nothing. I was nothing. I was consumed with guilt and shame and regret and fears and self-loathing. And today I'm on vacation in Puerto Rico. My affairs at home are being handled. I've gotten to surf some of the most gorgeous beaches and the best reef breaks I've ever surfed. I've never surfed them before, but the best waves I've ever surfed in my life. Like these are things that I could not even begin to imagine. And it's like, if I can truly, and that's just an external blessing. Let's talk about the internal ones. The ability to be able to breathe and to be okay with who I am, and to be able to admit that I'm a weirdo, I'm awkward, and that's okay. I don't have to put on a mask today. I show up with my friends exactly as I am, and everybody else as well. And I don't care how people think about me. Let me not say that. I do care sometimes, but I don't let it control my well-being. You know what I mean? Because like I said earlier in the show, we've been given these gifts, man, these tools, and I'll tell you, man, the most powerful one that I keep on mentioning is that network of people, man. Find your tribe, guys. And women. Plug in, because maybe you don't understand God or your source or your higher power, whatever you choose to call it. Maybe you don't understand it or have a concept of it or can't touch him. And we come in here powerless, but we tap into this power. And until we're able to really conceive or have an understanding of what God is, we use our fellows, fellow guys and gals. And so and then they show us, because there's something working in their lives, and they give us the tools to be able to reach this higher, power, and this other way of life that we couldn't even dream of, and here I am a few years later, still, really like just leaning on this, my people on a daily basis, and it becomes just habit. And really, it's something I look forward to calling and talking to my people every day, man. I look forward to getting on my knees and praying to this God that I had no idea what it was. And maybe I still don't have a crystal clear understanding, but I know that I am connected to it, and I see its manifestations constantly in my life, in every single nook and cranny, and it's everything that I never thought I would be able to do. I'm being able to do it today, and that I don't mean flying to Puerto Rico to surf. I mean just being able to be okay in my own skin and to be proud. And I cannot believe we haven't spoke about humility tonight, because that there it is, humility. The ability to not have to be right, to be able to accept life as is, to be able to I always thought humility meant I was humiliated, because I was very familiar with being humiliated. But humility to me is one of the most powerful words and practices that I get to engage in on a daily basis, because it allows me to just truly walk in grace. That God, I sometimes I sound crazy to myself. Walk in grace. I would make fun of myself 4 years ago, I assure you. I'm rambling. I'm super grateful to be here, guys. Truly, man.
I think you had a moment. I think you had a aha moment there for a second where it really hit you.
Yeah.
It was cool, man. Yeah, it's humility is key,
It's what he said is fire about being able to be authentic and not wear the mask. I used and drank because of that, because I was so uncomfortable with who I was that I'd rather numb than go another day pretending to be somebody that I wasn't. I wanted to be whatever cool was, like I wanted to be accepted. And you want to talk about the biggest gift that we get is that term that we use all the time, authentically awkward. We get to be our awkward selves every day out in the open and be comfortable in our own skin. We get to be vulnerable on a platform that thousands of people watch. I couldn't fathom talking about our fears and our feelings and emotions to even one person, much less in front of however many people are watching this. That's a gift. That's a gift that we can talk about these things out loud today in the hopes that it reaches somebody and they go, oh my God, I'm not alone. These people are also feeling and going through the same things, that I am, except they found recovery and they're able to talk about it and speak about it and be comfortable in their skin. And I wouldn't have said that would be my greatest blessing, on like day one of recovery. Hey, what's the greatest blessing? Well, I mean, I probably won't be getting arrested anymore. That would have been at the top of the list. But really, the finding and getting comfortable with authentic self is the biggest gift that I have. And that manifests in humility, and that manifests in grace, in all these actions that we possess today that makes our recovery attractive. Those things come from the work we've put in. The character defects were always there. These things that come out of us today that are attractive to other people and that draw them into recovery is because we busted our ass and we dug deep, and we now have a power greater than ourselves in our lives that guide us. And we actually listen to it because we're not so full of self-doubt and fear and everything that we can actually hear our higher powers. Because when I'm filled with resentment and I'm having a crazy ass day, I can't hear God. I can't hear anything.
You can't hear me.
I can't hear anybody. All I can hear is the inner conflict. But I'm just so glad that you said that with the mask, because it's huge, man. Like, every day it was, I got to put the mask on. I got to fit in. I can't let anybody know who I really am. Will they like me? They probably won't like me. Let's not find out,
And not only do you start to live, when you take that off and you're being your authentic self, you start attracting the people that are truly supposed to be in your life. And the less you have to be awkward and you may still be awkward, but less you have to put that mask on to try to please other people, because the people that are supposed to be in your life will love you for you, whether you get along all the time or whatever.
We get to be comfortably awkward.
It comes right. And it, you're around, when you take it off and you start being authentically you said something else that I was going to comment on, but I'm a firm believer, if you step back and you look, and if you look at it as God puts us through everything for a reason, we were supposed to go through this. And once we do and we heal, we reach our hand back and we help other people. I believe that we are supposed to be here right now doing exactly what we're doing.
Yeah, my first mentor, man, he told me something that first annoyed the shit out of me, and I thought it was just cheesy and corny and all, but he's like, Nate, there are no mistakes, there are only lessons. And there is power in that simple phrase. If you could start looking, because I always thought that I was doing it wrong. I was like, so keeping a scorecard, things Nate did wrong and why everything is the way it is, and how, I made it that way. You know what I mean? And to be able to give that up and let that go and truly look for the lesson inside of, whatever occurrence, whether it's a mistake, a blunder, something happening unexpectedly, what have you, but to immediately default to seeing what is this teaching me is life-changing. It's been life-changing for me, and now it might take me a moment to get there, but the distance in between is a lot shorter today than it was a few years ago.
It'll never be perfect, but the more you do it, the easier it gets.
Yeah, well, every day is a new chance to practice it. You know what I mean? So that's it for tonight, guys. And I hope you guys got something out of this. I know I did. I feel a lot better, and it helps to talk about it, it helps to get it out. That's what people are for. That's why we have support groups. That's why we have meetings, or whatever works for you. It's just got to get it out of there, especially when we're going through those times when anxiety is just overtaking you. And all we just think about is, I want this feeling to go away. And instead of picking up or using or whatever, you talk to somebody, you get it out there, and then you feel a lot better. Like, literally, it's a relief. It really releases when you get it out there. And I feel so much better. Thank you guys for being here, for letting me share
in our heads.
For letting me share. I'm glad you guys are here and putting some good perspective on it, man. And this is what it's all about. I know there was a comment up there that says, I need a tribe like yours in Indiana. Well, they're out there.
They are.
Find them,
Hey, we're pumping this right into Indiana.
Listen, these guys came out of nowhere, left field.
Right when we all needed each other, because that was a God thing and not an us thing. Like,
exactly.
They are there. I promise you, they are there.
They are there, in your town. So thank you guys so much for being here. Love you all. Please share this live feed. This Wednesday, we're going to do it all over again for our Addiction to Success, sharing stories of success from active addiction, man. We hope you guys come and join us. So love y'all. Good night. Have a good week.